It's the one and only DJ Malone, man. Chicago 77.3, the best place to be at on any day, really, man. Look, I got greatness into the building with me right now. And I really respect her grind. Ladies, you might want to check out. I love her style. Like she has a very eclectic style. And it's always, it's always cool to have that type of style. We're gonna get to know her. We're gonna get everything going. Why don't you go introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, my name is 2012. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I have a new single coming out soon called Think About Me.
Hey,
Yeah.
2012, man. What's going on?
Hey, hey.
Hey, man. How you feeling? How you been?
I'm feeling really good. I've been good. I've been busy. I've been very busy. There's a lot happening, but I'm really excited for everyone to see.
Okay. Hey, I like a lot is good. A lot is good. So,
Yes. Look,
um,
yeah.
that's what's up. So let's go into a time machine real quick. Let's go way back a little bit. Where did this start out for you?
I started, honestly, at the age of 3, my mom had me into like modeling and things of that nature and dancing. I did like ballet and stuff like that. So then the older I got around like 7, I was like, I want to do like hip hop and acting and stuff like that. And so my mom put me into a performing arts program where I did acting, singing, dancing for years straight. And then they ended up putting me into a girl group. And I did that until I was like 18. And then now I am 20, which is where the name sparked from. It was just a very significant number for me and going through certain transitions in my life that were just very significant.
Okay.
So I officially came out into like the girl group at 12. We posted like our first video. So whenever I'm telling my story, I would always be like, "Oh, I was 12 when I started," and my mom would be like, "Girl, I had you doing stuff way before that, and you were doing da da da." So
Right.
those numbers just really stuck with me. And then my mom and I were just like, "What if we just put them together?" And I was like, "Yeah, I wanna redo everything, and I just want to come out like authentically me, but like
Okay.
showing, yeah."
Okay, I like that. I like that story of how you became. So let's kind of dive in on. Let's start out with like when you started doing music, and I know with you said your mom had kind of pushed that towards you. Were you in choir of any sense or anything like that?
In choirs, no, I wasn't. My father, he did quartet music. So anytime I would go to like church, it would be like for his rehearsals or anything like that. So I did grow up around a lot of gospel and quartet, but I never
Okay.
did choirs or anything.
I always ask that because like we're always surrounded by we become like what we're surrounded by. Maybe subliminally or directly, but so it seems like you had a good musical foundation.
Yes, yeah, I definitely did.
Okay, that's what's up. So now being in the girl group,
Mhm.
we're not going to dive in all the way into that, but what was the greatest takeaway that you got from being with them?
The greatest takeaway from being in a girl group was definitely learning a lot of fundamentals about the industry, time management, learning. Oh my gosh, there was just so much I got to take away from being in a group. It is definitely different. I do get more creative control as a solo artist, but it sparked a friendship and a sisterhood that I'll always have with me. But yeah, I did learn a lot of the business from the girl group.
That's beautiful. So, um, when you rebranded, and I
Mhm.
say that because it's like when it seems like when that 20 hit, it was almost like this is what we're doing now. It's like kind of like a mission. So let's kind of go on that.
Um, when I rebranded, It was it was just like, okay, what do I need? Where am I? What am I doing? It was really a self-reflection moment.
Okay.
I went by Maddox Destin at first,
Okay.
and I did release music under that name, which is my like government name, but it still didn't feel like I was really where I needed to be. In this industry, it takes time sometimes, and I was still figuring me out. And I felt that once I got to 2012, and then once I started really making the music that I wanted to make, and there weren't any barriers or like boundaries that I was afraid to cross, then I was free to do whatever I wanted. And that's where it really hit me like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So,
Do you feel like it's like it was empowering too within yourself, maybe because of whatever you were going through at that point of your life? It was like, well, because as we brand, as we move on in life, we grow. So as
yes.
we grow, like we don't see things the same way, or maybe we see it from a more evolved lens as we
Mm.
grow.
That is exactly what it is. I feel with each time I'm realizing that I've grown, it's definitely like the bird's eye view just getting bigger and bigger of like, oh wow, this is there's it's a bigger picture than what I
Yeah,
thought. Like at first I was just zoomed in, and with each time I've grown and realized things, I'm like, it's so much more.
yeah,
And it definitely was an empowering thing to have like a self-awareness of like, this is who I am. I know as, it doesn't matter what age you are. I feel that people, they can get lost sometimes in trying to
yeah.
understand who they are. And I thank God that um, within all the trials and tribulations that I've had to go through, He helped me and paved the path in which helped me like be like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. So,
I like that. And now it sets a new standard for this is the way that we're moving now and beyond. And so I think that's a beautiful thing because it, you're not supposed to stay in one place. You know,
no,
we're not who we are 10 years ago. You get what I'm saying? So
mm-mm.
and in 10 years from now, we're not going to be who we are now. So
Today, right.
yeah, so I do think that's a beautiful way of looking at things, man. So
I
definitely.
appreciate that.
So let's talk about the joint now. When you making this with the thinking joint, how is that like when you what was the mind process? How did everything come about?
I was locked in the studio in Atlanta. We just locked in for like 2 weeks straight. I was with Faro and Him Logic,
Okay.
extremely great producers, artists. So we were locked in, and everything we were making was from scratch. Every beat they made was like from scratch, and we just played off melodies. And then there was one beat that Faro had, and he was like, I wanted to play this for you, but it was like the last session. He was like, I never got like the chance, so let's, see
Mm,
what you think. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, like what? I was like, yeah, no, we got to do something to this. And
yeah.
I immediately got to writing, and love is such a beautiful, easy thing to write about because everyone has experienced it in some form or way, whether it was a
Right.
crush or just like, um, it's a relatable thing. So it just kind of rolled off the tongue, and like writing it was very, very easy. And so then we laid it down, and I was like, this is a single.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It touched you right away.
It did, it did. It definitely did. I had no doubt. I was like, this was different from everything else we had done in the sessions prior. So,
Yeah. Okay. I I like how you put words and how it really feels like everything has meaning for you. Like it's not just
mhm.
oh well I'm just putting it out just because I'm putting it out there. It has meaning and stuff. So
Yeah,
is this I know it's a single, but is this off an EP or a project or just we're just doing the single right now?
the single is out, or the single is coming out. And so I feel like it will kind of eventually get to a project. That's my goal. So,
Okay. Okay, I ain't no not no. I like the era kind of right now because you get to kind of cherry pick on what we like and what the fans like and what you like as an
yeah.
artist.
No, definitely. Definitely. I love just kind of creating and seeing, like, I like to put out music that makes me feel good. I listen to music that makes me feel good. So when I put it out, I'm like, if you relate, if you feel good, vibe to it.
Right.
Um, so yeah.
Okay. Um, Now going moving forward, how would you describe your sound? Like if some let's say we're in front of people, how are you describing your sound or you as an artist?
My sound is very intricate. It's like alternative, I would say, and indie, like an R&B kind of vibe, but I honestly I don't really have like a genre to put it in. I would say it's just It's just like a feel good kind of vibe. Genres now, a lot of people are kind of fluid, I would say,
Yeah.
when it comes to genres. No one is really no one sounds like one genre anymore unless they are specifically making that. So I think that that's really fun, and I like to do that in the studio.
Do you think right now, and especially in this day of age, is like there's no one? I mean, we know like what sounds, what's supposed to sound like, but there's no one genre. So like when I hear like artists like the internet, you know what I'm saying? Like and people like that, like you can't box them in per se because they're so eclectic in that way.
I love them. I love like them, Steve Lacy, Tyler the Creator, Willow Smith. I feel like especially them being, black, it like puts it on a pedestal for like so many other people, of any color, of any like just to come together. And music is timeless, like, and it's for like, anyone can dance to it, anyone can feel good to it. So I do love that they inspire me.
That's what's up, man. I like that. Now, born and raised where? Where you from?
ATL Shotty.
Hey, okay, okay. Uh, Now I've been there a couple times. It's been cool. How do you feel about ATL as the music scene right now?
Oh my gosh. Right now,
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely like records that people make because they know that they just have to sell music and make money from it. I know that there's a lot of artists who feel like they're not really making the music they want to make, but that's just the business. I feel like Atlanta, as far as like hip hop, has always had like that on like lock. It's just like the home of so many amazing creatives and artists, especially in hip hop. So I feel like that will always be Atlanta's foundation.
Right.
Is the people who came before, who we all look up to, Outkast, so many artists. So
I get
now
that.
I definitely feel like the music industry is much different. It's kind of like people listen to a record and then it's like forgotten about. Nothing's as timeless,
Yeah.
but I still feel like the foundation is there. So,
Let me ask you a deep question then.
mhm.
As you being an artist, do you feel like do you fit the Atlanta sound right now, or do you feel like you have to move maybe to another city to get appreciated, your sound more appreciated versus to being in Atlanta?
I I wouldn't say I would have to move. I would say that the if I live in LA right now, I
Okay.
do feel like out here there's more diversity when it comes to music. Um, and there is diversity in Atlanta, of course, be who you are.
Right.
But I personally felt like it was just smaller and it
Mm,
wasn't fully there yet.
right.
And things happen gradually. But for me, I was like, I need a new pace, I need a new scenery, a new energy. And, not everyone gets the artist at first. Not everyone understands
Agree.
until it's like catching on and it's popular. So I say, go where you're appreciated. So that's what I did.
I asked that because originally I'm from Chicago, and I moved to Houston, and I feel like I'm more better as being the DJ that's from Chicago in Houston than being a Chicago DJ. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
no, totally.
So
Totally. I feel like, sometimes people just don't appreciate things because they don't understand it. But when you are in a place and you're understood and then you like blow up there, it's so much easier to then be like, this is
yeah,
what I was trying to show you.
definitely.
So, yeah.
Okay. Now it's dropping on next. But it's Thursday today, but it's dropping Friday, next Friday, correct?
Yes, July 5th.
Okay, July 5th. Is there any significance to that date?
There isn't. I do like to start things like I'm very like goal oriented and like
Okay.
scheduled kind of girl. So I do like to start. something, the beginning of the month, the beginning of something, or it gives me like, okay, I started the beginning of this date and now I'm like working my way. So
Kind of like you have like a little planner and say, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do here, and this is what we're gonna do there. Was
yeah.
that always instilled into you from an early age?
It was. I feel like naturally, I've always been this way. I've always wanted things to, in my space, look the way I need them to look, and they need to be the way I want them to be.
Yeah.
But also, my mother, she's very organized in life, and she definitely instilled that in all of her kids, where, Sundays was cleanup days, and
Mhm.
if it's you leave something, go pick that up. And it's always been very like organized. My mom has always kept me on like a schedule.
And I think too is that it like little memorism things that we pick up on as even when we're younger, how much we apply it as we're older. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, kudos to your mom and your family for everything, man, because they raised. I can tell you're well mannered and well spoken, so I can definitely tell that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, where did you get your style from? Like, where did it come from, man?
My style is I mean, I always give like due to anybody like Erica Badu, for example, or anything that came before me. Cause I feel like back in the day, my back in the day, it's like early 2000s or like 90s and before, like all the way to the 50s, I give like credit where credit is due because I feel like it was just there was way more creativity, whereas now everything, including music, is just kind of sampled and picked
Mm,
apart. So whenever I'm getting influence from things, sometimes it is like new stuff, but 9 times out of 10, it's from something that was done like 20 years ago before I was even a thought.
yeah. I like that though. I mean, it's okay to, and I also feel like even in the 50s and 60s, there was a certain decorum that they had. Like
Yeah.
everybody, was dressed up, and not just like, oh well, we were going out, but that was the thing. Like as a man, you wore a suit with tie, and you handled your business. As a woman, you always had your hair did. It's not like now where people like I go to the like even when I go to like I went to a DJ at a prom this past season. So and they were wearing Crocs at the prom. So it was like, yo, man, it's like can
What?
we put in like some effort here?
No, I totally I mean, do you, but I Crocs at a prom is kind of crazy. It's definitely different now. Like, people wearing like, sneakers and stuff to certain things. And I mean, do what makes you happy, wear what makes you happy. I do say that. That's usually when the best like outfits are put together, when somebody is just most confident in them. But there are some questionable things that I've seen fashion wise in this generation that's been like, oh no.
Yeah, I get that. Definitely. All right. Who would you like to work with going into the future?
Oh my gosh, Willow Smith.
Okay.
Willow Smith, that she's like been played in my headphones over and over and over. Um, I love her freedom, her creativity, her music. I have a lot of respect for her. She literally plays so many different instruments, and just her ear is beautiful.
Hmm.
So I would love to work with her.
Okay. Producer wise, who would you like to work with?
Producer wise, I would like to work with Steve Lacy, producer wise.
I like that. That's dope. I don't get to hear that name that much, but I'm glad you said that, man.
Yeah.
Now I know you come, and I know, and this is gonna kind of be a throwback to the girl group. If you could work with a choreographer, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, Sean Banks.
Mm,
Oh my gosh. Like there's so many other choreographers in this industry that I have a respect for. The first one that came to mind though is Sean Banks. He's
okay.
from Atlanta and he's worked with so many amazing artists. And his moves are just so dope. I feel like even with some like work is the music that I have, I feel like he would just kill that too. I love
Yeah.
like a contemporary feel, but I feel like he would bring the Atlanta to the contemporary. So
Hey, I feel that. I like that. So in the next 3 years, where do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
I see myself on tour. I do. I see myself. I have my first album out. I'm on tour, and I'm continuing to make music, and I'm acting and doing everything that I love to do. Learning more of the business too, the business side of things.
That's what's up. Um, just a couple more questions. What is the most hardest thing about the music business?
I would say the hardest thing about being in the music industry is the not the patience, because for me, I'm patient and I enjoy taking in every moment. But I would say how the industry tries to break people. It really is a sad thing for me to see someone so passionate about literally just wanting to be a creative and make art, and this industry will eat them up and spit them out, if they're not grounded enough. So I think that is the hardest thing, is just like knowing that it's a horrible industry,
Yeah.
but a great platform.
Yeah.
um so yeah, the truth
Okay.
of it.
That's real though. That's real. A lot of great creatives, not so great people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, give me two things you are grateful for. What are two things you're grateful
First thing is always God. I'm grateful for Jesus. I am grateful for my family too, keeping me grounded. Those things, the things that make me feel home anywhere I am on this earth, I'm extremely grateful for that. That is a feeling of confidence. And yeah, that makes me happy. So
for? Okay. Second thing.
the second thing, I guess I kind of gave two in one, but the second thing I'm grateful for is music. I'm grateful for that also being something that helps heal me. And it literally is like there's an emotion, there's a song for every feeling. So I'm grateful for God, family, music,
In that order,
in that order.
that might be a book for you.
there was there was a scene in The Best Man Holiday, where Morris Chestnut, he was asked the question, it was like God, family, football. But that was not intentional. I just realized that.
Yeah, that
Yeah, and
might be.
so he made a book from it in the movie, but in that order, yes.
Keep that title. It might be a good book for you down the line, man. I like
That
that
might be
though.
good.
I really once again I really do appreciate you being on here and sharing your thoughts and everything else like that. Are you single right now? Like what's going on, man? What we gotta do? We got somebody in the making. What's going on?
Yes, I do have a boyfriend, my man. I
Yeah,
am in a relationship.
okay, that's what's
But
up.
I'm a private girl.
Very good, very good. How do you balance that with the music, your personal life? How do you balance that?
It honestly, it isn't as hard to balance for me personally. I started so young. I've always had to balance a personal life and a work life. So I feel that I've gotten extremely good at knowing when work is work and when playtime or family time or like anything outside of that is that time. I definitely make sure that when I'm working, and when I'm like not, then I'm extremely locked in and focused on whatever it is, and taking my time with that, and appreciating that.
That's what's up. I like that, man. Where can the people find you? At all your stalkers, your supporters. Where can the people find you?
My Instagram is the number 20 and then TWELVV. And all of my other social media platforms are I am the number 20 and then Roman numeral 12.
So I like that. So it's the number 20, but the normal numeral 12. Why that?
I think it just added it went with like the eclectic thing that I'm always going for, the discombobulated kind of feel, but still like elegant, simple. So it was like pretty to look at for me. So I was like, I like that.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Support people. Always support the people that I bring up here. You want to know why? They dope as hell, man. So
Thank you.
we're gonna go ahead and end it out. Make sure you guys check out the song. It's gonna be out next Friday or on all platforms and everything.
Yes.
And it's called Thinking About You.
Think about me.
Think about me. I want to. I keep on. Maybe because I wanted somebody to think about me. I don't know, but
Somebody's think about you.
somebody will. Somebody will. But make sure you guys check her song out and everything that she has going on. This has been a pleasure. Before you go, Tony, I want to see if you could do a drop for me. You're gonna say your
Yeah.
name, and I'm rocking with Chicago 77.3.
Okay.
If you need
Okay.
this, just get help.
Thank you. Hey, what's up? My name is 2012 and I'm rocking with Chicago 77.3.
Yeah, there. Man, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. I really do appreciate it, and I know don't be a stranger. I'm here.
Yay, I'm here too. I'm not no stranger now. I know you, I see you.
Yeah, we locked
I
in. We
appreciate
locked
it.
in. Hey,
Yes.
man, it's the one and only DJ Malone, Chicago 77.3. We out. Wow.